name's Alison and I'm coming to you from Pilates Leeds, and this is the first of 3 workouts which are to strengthen up your gluteal muscles, the muscles of your buttocks, your bottom muscles. You don't need any equipment, just maybe definitely actually not equipment, but things you've got around the house. Cushions, pillows and a chair. Right then, before I start, I want to just make one thing really clear, and it's the difference between really using your buttocks in these exercises and by mistake using your lower back. If you're doing a leg raise in standing, to work that muscle, you extend the leg back. It's referred to as hip extension. This is back extension. So the back is curving. So the back's working there. That's back extension. So if you're not quite clear on your technique, often that will happen, the two things together. But it's so important that you make sure that your pelvis stays level and neutral, back stays out of this, and you isolate the movement in your thigh and your buttocks. I'm demonstrating this standing up, but I will keep on going on and on about this as we go through, because it is so important that you get this right. It's not easy, but it is important. Okay, we're going to use sets of 10 of everything, but without further ado, let's start with what is really one of my favourites, and that is glute bridge. So you might want a little cushion for your head. You want your feet parallel, and you're going to go up and down. You're going to send, you're going to stand into your feet. You're going to send the backs of the thighs into your knees. There is a glute bridge with full hip extension, to use the fancy technical term. And here is one where you're kind of sort of by accident using the ribs and the lower back. So you sort of thrust the ribs up. It can be a bit strainy in the neck as well if you do that. So really be aware that you stand into your feet, that you're sending your knees over your toes, and you're opening here. It might help you to put your hands on the front of the hips and send your bottoms up, quite literally. So get your bottom to push right into the hip crease there. How about 10 more? Breathe out as you go up. 10. Breathing in as you come down. 9. Don't forget to breathe. 8. Right up into the hip crease there. 7. 6. 5. 4. Works the back of the legs as well, the hamstrings. 3. Almost all of these things work the hamstrings as well as the glutes. 2. And 1. Second set of glute bridge. Take your feet wider. Some of you will feel a pull on the inner thigh for this. And the wider legs means you tend to work into the outer part of your bottom. Here we go. Breathe in. Breathe out, go up. 10. Breathe in, come down. 9. As you do, 8. Make sure your knees are following the tracks of your toes. 7. Make sure you get right up into your own range. 6. So again, it might help you to put your hands on your hip crease there. 6. Well, I think I might have done one extra there. Never mind. 5. The more the merrier. Keep your ribs heavy and relaxed. 4. Just to stop you using those back muscles. 3. 2. 1. Turn onto your side. I'm going to use the foam roller to support my legs here, but you can use cushions. Your knees are bent. So there's my foam roller propping my legs. So the reason for the foam roller or maybe cushions is to keep your feet parallel and roughly hip bone distance apart. If you're using cushions, your feet might be together, mine are apart. Have your head relaxed and down. Okay, now you're going to move the top leg, so this thing, whatever it is going to spring out of place. So put your top hand on there to support you, and here we go with the exercise often known as Clam. So you're externally rotating your top leg, and we're going to do 15, 14. Although I'm going to attempt to carry on doing these and cue you at the same time. Okay, here's the thing. Actually, I can't. I'm going to have to, you keep going and I'm going to carry on because that's going to fall out. It's really important that you don't tip back. So again, using the back muscles to substitute for the work of the glutes. It is absolutely imperative that this thing, the pelvis, stays level as you do this turn-outy movement in the leg. Keep your feet relaxed. The movement's coming from your bottom. Okay, is that nearly 15? I've lost count, so I'm just going to go 3, 2, and 1. So you're probably things a little bit gentler than the other one, and then you pick yourself up, turn yourself round, and do the other side. So it takes a bit of getting into position. So your feet are in line with your bottom, your head is down and relaxed. Your top hand is keeping your cushions in place, which are keeping your legs in place. So this is your start position. Go. Breathe out. Breathe in. So use your breathing to slow this down and make it a little bit harder. So that's 14. Now, compared to last exercise, 13, this is a lot easier, but it's still valid because it's encouraging this outer glute to really wake up and get working. So despite its apparent gentleness, stick with it. It is well worth it. 10, 9, make sure your upper body is relaxed. Might even want to close your eyes. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So then cast your pillows aside and you're coming not into all fours because that can be quite challenging on your shoulders and your wrists, but onto your elbows. So you're on your elbows and your knees. I'm on carpet here, but do you know what? If your kneecaps feel a bit tender, please put rolled up blanket or a pillow underneath your knees. You want to be mindful that you have a connection through your abs just to stop your back overly arching. If you have that tendency and your back tends to kind of be a bit grippy and tense, connect into your abs so you've got a neutral spine. Okay, so to keep you stable in your upper body, pull your shoulder blades apart. Straighten one leg away and up and down you go. Now here's this thing again about doing a pure movement in the leg as opposed to a tendency to move the spine as well. So when I'm doing it, you may not be able to spare a hand like I can, but you can see I tend to sometimes use my hand there and I can feel that I'm stable in my trunk and I'm just using my leg, I'm just using my bottom. Swap sides, straight leg, up and down. 10. Now lengthen the leg, don't just lift it, lengthen it. You can get a bit necky, 8. So keep your chin nodded, look at your own elbows, 7. Breathe, 6. 5. 4. 3, 2, 1. That exercise uses your buttocks and your back of your legs, your hamstrings. Here's the equivalent, which is isolated and it's a little bit more pure glute. Bend the leg. 10, 9, keep the back relaxed. 8, and the abs connected. 7. If you're not sure if you can bear to do it, 6, use a mirror. 5, and look at your own body. But if you're not, keep that chin nodded, look at your elbows. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other side. 10. Keep your heel to bottom. 9. As you send your buttocks to the ceiling. 8. Buttocks to the ceiling. 7. 6. Breathe. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. And then from there, I'll check my notes there. I want you to come up to standing. This is where you'll need your chair. We're going to do some squatting, but to really nail good squatting for good glute workout, I think it's best to start with a chair. So you're going to stand with your chair behind you. So this is stand to sit, and that's exactly what you're going to do. Initiate with a hip hinge. So you're going to sort of fold in half there, just a little way, and then sit down. And then stand into your feet to come back up. Remember that cue from the glute bridge? So you were fully in your hands. Well, you can use it here. Send the bottom fully, completely into the hands there. Now, the reason why it's useful to use a chair, because you can do this a little bit wrongly, I suppose. Yeah, not quite right, but it looks the same as right. What you're wanting here is your buttocks, your glutes, to be strong enough to sort of send you back down to the chair like that. But if they're not quite strong enough, you'll get so far and then you'll drift forward into the knees. And it looks similar but not the same, because there's just that little bit of drift into the knees. It's more obvious if you haven't got a chair. So we're trying to encourage that to sit back down and definitely stand into your feet to come up. It is a tough one, but it is functional and it's important, and it's a bit off-putting because you don't necessarily feel your buttocks, but know them to be working. And sometimes they get a bad rap, squats, for being bad for your knees, but they're not. Squats aren't bad for your knees. Bad squats are bad for your knees. So use the chair to encourage you. Even if you maybe lose it in the end where you sort of flop down, you've still got to come back up again. And I've kind of lost count for that, but I was planning for around 10, and that's probably enough. So I've got 2 more things. Penultimate exercise. Doesn't seem like much, but you're going to stand on one leg. Because if you think about it, that all the weights in one buttock and one sort of set of knee muscles. So it's actually, and there's one set of 10, dead useful, and also it challenges your balance. So it's not nothing. Again, you've got that full hip extension. So there's 9. Don't forget to breathe. 8. 7. Sometimes I resort to this to make sure I'm not by accident using my back. 8. That's 6. 5. 4. Now you can play around with this and hold the standing on weight for a longer time. 3. There's loads of variations on this. 2. And 1. And one last exercise. It's called hip hitch. We're not doing the full hip hitch. I'm going to do that in the intermediate version. You're going to stand with one foot on a big, thick book. Oh, I forgot to say, a big book. Nothing too treasured. One that you don't mind standing on like that. I'm using a yoga brick, but honestly, a big cookery book would do the trick. It truly would. And you're going to stand like that. So there's a challenge here of balance and also of the work through the ankles. But you've actually got to stabilise your pelvis using one outer glute and another. So it's actually quite testing for the glutes in their function as stabilisers rather than as sort of strength muscles. So I'm going to count down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then I'm going to swap sides. And I'm having a little look to make sure I'm on point there. And then full hip extension, standing tall, head back, so some just quick postural points. 9, 8, are you breathing? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So there you have an introductory glute workout. Nail your technique, nail the dissociation of using your bottom and not your lower back, and you are going to get your glutes stronger and more functional. And so there's a little introductory workout that you could take home and do tomorrow and the day after that. Okay, cheerio. Hi there. I do hope you found this clip useful. We've got plenty more on the site, and for now I've suggested another one for you to watch. If you want to know more about what we do in Leeds, then do visit the website at pilates-leeds.com, and right now you can subscribe to the YouTube channel and we can do this all again next month. Cheerio!